Another story of a girl who had a very, very strange life. She was born in a family where she was emotionally and almost physically tortured for doing all sorts of household work while she was very small. You will never believe that the families have such atmosphere because most of the families are good for the inmates, but I talk about those where there are a lot of problems. When she became teenage and started menstruating, she was made to lift heavy stuffs. She was even made to put the tin of wheat on her head and go for g- grinding that through the colony of almost academic and rich people. This is just one little instance, but one after the other was happening throughout the day, night, and all the years she lived in. The boys of the house were quarrelsome, temperamental, and fighting kind. Lot of trauma and drama would take place inside the house till she left home to find a job. Job was also very, very hard for her because that it was very demanding and she was not prepared for that. But she was forced to do it because she had to be financially independent and she didn't want to go back home. Finally, she was trying to find a male support because she was living all alone. This family was not supportive of marriage because they did not have money to spend. But ultimately, the friends found a match for her who was very different from the rut. But she said yes. So, marriage again proved to be very, very unpalatable to her because the man was not up to the mark to deal with the worldly situations. He would not even ask for the benefits which were professionally due, and he just would work for outsiders without knowing his worth. Now, this girl was again frustrated because if your man is not the performer type or leader type or the person who commands, acceptability as a professional or as a security provider or as a social person, then it is not good for the girl. She could never walk with him as a couple because he was very shy and he would just not get out of the house except for a job. He would walk very fast, eat very fast, and wherever this girl went with him, she had to come back almost very, very dismayed and disappointed. So, this aspect was again missing in this girl's life. She was only working for the family, for the job, for the child, and nothing more. A completely monotonous life. So, this was the second angle of her family. That is, the family life was missing and the social security was missing. Then the boy who was born to her, he grew up. But she discovered that this boy was also very shy and not the kind normal kids are. She started working hard on him as well. But in the end, he also could not make a mark as a progressive worldly person. This girl who was helping this boy giving all kind of exams and life tests, she was also helping the man who was giving lots of exams but with no return of any type. You never know what is happening and what is coming in your life. So, this is how sometimes life takes you on a path which is absolutely unpredictable, but it fills the concerned person who's bearing all this with lot of pain and shock. This beautiful girl who was very, very good professional, very good person, a very good family woman, wife, child, mother, was doing all for everyone, But nobody was thinking about her pains at all. The family where she married was absolutely a shock for her. The brother was a vagabond, and the father gave all money and attention to his vagabond son, neglecting this one whom she married. Till the end, everything went to this boy and his family, and nothing this man could get from his family as a son. This was also a shock for this woman who did so much for the man and the family. And her own parents also took advantage of the man and this generous daughter and made lot of intrusions in their married life and the life before marriage, and used her money, her generous giving of work and concern, as mostly people do it, but they turned out to be very selfish too. The whole family of hers deprived her of any kind of monetary gain. She was good enough to marry herself with her own savings. She was giving everything, whether to her own family or to the in law's family, by her own earnings, and was also working for them, cooking for them, hosting them whenever they visited the family. But none of the two families considered her for giving any kind of thing except using her now and then. Ultimately, she was feeling very, very sad for all what was happening. But she was so good that she never uttered a word. Now, this boy of hers also became marriageable. But he was suffering from a sort of self pity that, despite all good support by this lady, by the mother, he chose a girl who was a sort of outlaw of society, because she found him a easy target to do so. Now, the third attack on her, that is on what she earned and saved. Now, this girl has an eye on all the possessions of this mother who worked so hard and retained all which she earned with her wise decisions. But things happen which are in nobody's control. She is again a very, very insecure person from this side as well. Earlier, she was insecure because of the Begawan brothers' side, that is the in laws family of hers. They wanted to take away everything she earned, and she resisted and could manage saving her side by taking bad name also, because the man was not competent to take care. She had to see things on her own. Now again the same position she is in. She had to take the bad name to protect whatever they have for their old age security. So this is how things happen, that one person becomes the bad name even though that person is actually good. So the families which we value so much, they take toll of all the good people if they are surrounded by the bad people. This is your bad luck that you are surrounded by all kind of bad people and bad situations. So you will come across not just this story but much more traumatic stories where it is not the emotional setback, but you get actually physical setbacks also, and you actually lose your things in the process. This world is like this only. So problems are extremely acute when you form a family or you become a part of a family. So, as a researcher, now I'm concentrating on how families are actually behaving with the family members. So, this is just one episode. I will keep narrating you again as I come across the new ones.